Let's show you how to build a UTM link builder right inside of Airtable. This is fantastic if you are storing blogs, articles, campaigns, website information already inside of Airtable. You can easily bolt on these UTM links and this builder so that you've got an easy one-stop shop for all of your UTM links. The first thing before we customize our Airtable, though, is let's understand the anatomy of a UTM link. So the first thing you need in any UTM link is a link. So in this example, I'm using nocodcollab.com, followed by a question mark. And then we've got our UTM underscore source equals, and then we're doing our UTM source. Then we've got an ampersand, UTM medium, and then our medium, and then UTM campaign, followed by our campaign. When you put all these things together, you get your UTM link. So what we are going to do is we are actually going to have drop downs and linked fields in our Airtable so that we can easily and kind of in a foolproof way, we can create our UTM links. And then we are going to use a formula field, and that formula field is going to look similar to what we saw before. So we were just going to concatenate together our link, and then we're going to add in our UTM source equals, our UTM medium equals, and our UTM campaign equals. And this will generate our UTM link. If you have other things, you can add other parameters. I think there's 3 or 4 more parameters you can add to your UTM links. It would just follow the same structure here. You would add a comma, and then we would add in, I think the ID is one, so we would add ampersand UTM underscore ID equals, and then we would have our campaign ID. So we're going to build this all in our Airtable formula, but that's similar. That's what it would look like. So if you are adding more parameters, you can do that in the formula field. So let's take a peek at Airtable and see how we can get this done. Okay, so here I am inside of Airtable. I've got a very simple base. I've just got a link, a campaign name, a campaign source, and a campaign medium. Now I've done these in 3 different ways, so you can see that there are different options for creating these links. So I used a single line text for the name. The thing with a single line text is that you will want to make sure that you don't have any special characters. You want to replace your spaces with underscores. So you need to make sure that the string of text is a URL valid string of text. If other people are going to be using this link builder and they don't know how to make a string valid for a URL, you could have a little helper field that you add in where you substitute out spaces for underscores, you remove any special characters. So you could create a helper field that just substitutes out those characters that are not valid in a URL. Or you could use a linked field so that you're linking to another record. So here I've got our campaign source on another table, and you can see that I've got Google, TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook. So I've got our campaign sources on another table. Or you could have a single select field, and you could use a drop down to force people into choosing one of the correct options. You can mix and match these however you want. You could have all drop downs, you could have all linked fields, you could have all single line. It doesn't matter. Just showing you that it works with all 3. So let's go ahead, let's add a field, and let's start building these links. So I'm going to add this field. It's going to be called UTM link. And then I'm going to create a formula. Now, as you saw earlier, we are going to concatenate together. So we are going to join together a string of text. And I'm going to separate these out on different lines just because it's easier to read, but you do not have to do this. You can do it all on one line. So I want to start out with our link, and then I'm going to hit a comma. So now it knows here's the next piece of information. And then I want to do quotations, question mark, UTM source equals, and then I'm going to do another comma. So we've got that chunk of text, and then UTM, or excuse me, campaign source. You can see I'm selecting it from the list down there, followed by a comma, and then ampersand UTM underscore, let's do medium, equals, comma, campaign medium, comma, ampersand UTM underscore campaign, and equals. And that is going to be actually the campaign name. Now, if you had other parameters that you wanted to add on, this is where you would add those on and just link or concatenate those fields together. So I, though, am not going to do that. And we are going to create our field. So if I bring in a link, so let's take the No Code Collab homepage, and you'll see right now, we're going to fix this in a bit, but you can see I've already got the kind of the makings of my UTM link here on the right. But so now I throw that in, and now you can see my UTM link is starting to build out. Let's call my campaign name document automation. So you can see that build out here on the end. Document automation. My campaign source is going to be Twitter, and my campaign medium is social. So now I've got my UTM link. So I can just copy that, and now I've got a UTM link. Now the problem, though, is if I leave, let's say I leave Twitter off and I want to make sure that I have all of my parameters. Well, now I don't have my UTM link like I want. I need a campaign source. So I'm going to update my formula so that if any of these are blank, if any of these 4 fields are blank, I don't get a link. So let's do it like this. So let's edit this field. And basically what I want to say is if any of those are blank, then show me a message that says not valid. So I'm going to say if, let's just get rid of that. And now we use the or to check all of these. So I'm going to say if link equals blank. And now I'm stringing together my logical operators here. So if link is blank, if campaign name equals blank, if campaign source equals blank, or if campaign medium equals blank. I'm checking for all those. If any of those are true, then I want to put in the message, please fill in all fields. If they're not true, or if none of those are true, then I want to go ahead and build my link, and I'm just going to close off that if statement. So I should be able to now save that off. And now we can see that I need to fill in all fields. And if I were to delete Twitter, I need to fill in all fields. So we've now kind of dummy-proofed it a little bit more to make sure that we're not copying a link that doesn't actually have all the information we need. So we have gone ahead and we have created kind of a nice, easy UTM link builder here that makes our lives a little bit easier and makes sure that we are using the right campaigns that we have, we're using the right mediums, and we are building our links up to spec. So hope that helps. Please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and we will see you at the next tutorial.